Spring in Seoul is welcomed with a warm breeze that brings the scent of cherry blossom flowers in full bloom. Behind the window of a tiny studio in the Hanam-dong neighborhood, Jungkook sits in contemplation. The digital clock in the corner of the room marked 3:47 a.m., but there was no sign of sleepiness in his eyes. She rewrote an old clip, a video of herself rehearsing the choreography of No More Dream when she was 15. The picture is blurry, but the spirit of young people hungry for the stage is so real, not for nostalgia it was watching the video. Jungkook is in the process of searching, not a song, style, or collaborator search. This time, he's searching for his true self, a narrative he's never fully controlled over the past 10 years. For the first time, he wants to tell his life not as a member of BTS, but as Jungkook. And he knew that only one form of work could contain that complexity, a documentary. I will be the director myself. He said it slowly, but surely. Not to his manager, not to HYBE, but to himself. Putting together a documentary about herself feels like digging into Pandora's box. Jungkook began combing through video files, personal vlogs, Polaroid photos from the dark years and the light years. He found footage of rehearsals when his vocals cracked, when he cried silently in the waiting room after a performance he considered a failure, and when he watched his bandmates fall ill but still smile on stage. One of the hardest parts was rewatching the times after Butter and Permission to Dance. It was BTS' golden age globally, but also when it felt most invisible. Too much light shone on their names, until their own shadow disappeared. Jungkook wrote a rough screenplay on his iPad. Chapter 1, The Busan Boy Who Never Sleeps. Chapter 2, The World That Greets Too Early. Chapter 3, Fame, Loneliness, and Mirrors. Chapter 4, Reborn Through the Lens. Chapter 5, BTS is Home, But Who Am I? The most shaking part was when he decided to interview himself in front of the camera. He sits in a black hoodie, minimal makeup, unruly hair, just the way he is. He stared at the camera lens for a few seconds, then began to talk. I want to say something that maybe I've never said in person. There was a time when I didn't want to be Jungkook of BTS. I want to escape. I wanted to be an ordinary college kid, hanging out in a cafe, not being watched, not judged. It stopped. Get down. Then look back at the camera, but I persisted. Because of me. Because of the music. Because of the army. This scene, which he titled Confession 3:17 a.m., would become one of the emotional climactic points in the documentary. He also invited Jimin, his best friend who best understands his fragile side, to appear as a speaker. The scene of them chatting on the roof of the HYBE building at sunset provides both cinematic and emotional color. Jimin gently said, "You once said, Hyung, if one day I disappear, please remind me who I am." Maybe this movie will be a reminder of that. After months of self-editing, with hours of sleep cut off and an increasingly tight enlistment schedule, Jungkook finally sent the final cut to HYBE's in-house documentary team. He didn't want this to be treated as a marketing project. This is a work of art. An agreement was reached. The documentary will be released through independent cinemas and global platforms simultaneously. The title? Golden